Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome to the 900th episode of WhatsMap. 900. I am so tired. I'm so tired. Maybe we can get this train wreck to 1000 and possibly I can have a little break then if you guys will let me. I think I deserve it. Maybe. Today's map's been voted in by the BonBon Buddies over on Patreon, given that it's Friday. It's a creator we've done just the once in the past, back in episode 628, where they got 9 stars, a middly score. Today's map's going to score a little bit higher than that. Might have been a little bit stingy, but I'm sure you'll let me in the comments if you feel that I have been. However, if you feel that I'm just genuinely a nice guy and I feel I deserve promoting, there is a way of doing that using the promote button. That's right, slapping the promote button really does get me seen by more people, helps me grow a little bit more every single day, and I thank you very much for your support. Today's map is Cascadia OneTile challenge by Strait Trader. I feel that deserves an echo. I think I said that last time as well. Anyway, OneTile challenge, which means the start square is that one tile. It's perfectly flat, perfectly empty apart from the highway with pre-built intersections. Then if we have a look at the terrain heights, that is mostly for backdrop, although you can of course unlock that area and build into it anyway if you so desire. And then if we have a look at the resources, nothing in the start square at all, and then just forestry all around, and that's your lot. There is fishing, of course there is fishing because of Sunset Harbour. If you have the DLC, that is what you're going to be playing with, just some anchovies and a little bit of salmon. Anyway, off to the workshop. No DLC is required. There are a few mods and props and assets. Mods, some of them aren't really required, like the random tree rotation. Really required? Not really, but yeah, it definitely adds to the game. We'll be using the realistic 1.5.5 temperate theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. There's also some tips and advice and a great, interesting, fun backstory to show the elevated section here. An interesting backstory about a Dutch philanthropist who polarised the centre square, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Do read up on that one. The tips in there, of course, are great in terms of if you want to build right up to the edge of the tile. There are mods that will allow you to do that without actually having to unlock the tiles. So yeah, do read through. It's a great backstory. Definitely adds to the potential gameplay, and maybe where I might be a little bit stingy. I'm thinking maybe I was, but I'm going to stick with my instinct and intuition with this one. Anyway, we've got an elevated section, which possibly could have been at ground level. Don't really know if that had to have been. I mean, that could have been. They can polarize a whole, was it 4 square kilometers in the middle of the tile, in the middle of the gameplay area. Then I'm sure they could have elevated a small section of land there, possibly. Where were we? Yes, just doing a little fly through. Now the whole map, it looks really quite nice. I do like the realistic 1.5.5 temperate theme. It has, although it's temperate, it has a real boreal feel to it as well, and with all these trees dotted around. But yeah, it brings a lovely blue-grey colour into the water, and I do like the cliff edges as well. Possibly a bit too clean of an edge alongside of the road though, but I understand how that's happened and why that's happened. Now we are entering start square territory, and literally what you've got is 3 intersections on an elevated highway, which is a nice thing actually, the elevated highway, as it means that you can just keep building, draw the roads underneath and just carry on building right up and possibly underneath as well, depending on what you're actually putting under there. Very sweet, very neat, very clean, kind of boring, but it's going to be a grid city, this one. It's going to be a big old grid city. But we'll have a little look at the asset of the day. Now, this is by old friend of the show, MrMaison, with his azalea bushes. These are lovely. I'll do a slow crawl around while I give you my factoids, because factoids. On today's date, the 3rd of April, Washington Irving, or was it Irving or Irvine? I think it's Irvin actually, but yeah. Washington Irving, the American writer and historian, was born this day in 1783. He got the idea for the character Rip Van Winkle from the legend of the Cretan poet Epimendes, who decided to take a short nap while out hunting and didn't wake up for 50 years. I'll tell you what, he would be an absolute beaut for this time where we are all chained up inside our houses wanting to get out, just napping for 50 years, and then hopefully this damn thing will have cleared. But anyway, there you go, the azalea bushes by MrMaison. Of course, a great tree stroke plant asset because it's MrMaison. Nobody does it better. Makes me... Never mind, skipping on back to the highway. Skipping back to the highway. Fancy watching a bit of James Bond now. Actually, I've been locked up in this little nook that I call home for way too long, and being a solo person, a little bit of terrain glitch in between there as well. But a solo person, I have had very little interaction with real people. I went to the local shop because I needed some milk. That's about the only time I've been out in the last week. Plenty of food in, but of course milk doesn't keep. So went to get some milk, and there was just me and one other guy in the shop. And my communication with this guy was, I'll go this way, you go that way. And we managed to maintain our 2 meter distance by walking down different aisles. But we were on the collision course, which normally we would just brushed shoulders. But yeah, we were very good. We were very well behaved, and found different aisles to walk down. I actually backed up. I said, you come this way, I'll go that way. Chose a different route to the milk. Not difficult. Anyways, modern day issues, eh? The rail, the only real big problem I have with the rail is right here. It's a catenary chaos in this little spot here. I mean, literally 4 within 2 centimeters of each other, and yeah, we're straddling the lines, and it's just untidy rather than, it's not game breaking. The trains are going to completely ignore that. If it doesn't bother you, then that's fine. That is absolutely fine. The rail's split, and one that takes the shorter route, so I think it's the one that goes by the lake. The one that goes into the start square seems to be a longer route, which means probably you won't have any backups of trains going for your start square, which is a nice thing. Anyway, we are full loop now, back to where we started, which means we can take an intermission. Do you reckon there'll be any shipping? Will they have put in shipping?
Are you bored with the standard vanilla bridges? Have you seen those lovely custom bridges but don't know how to use them? Ooh, very nice. Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Custom Bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And to the shipping at Cascadia, OneTile challenged by Strait Raider. And there isn't any, which I think is a possible loss. Because, well, I mean, yes, you're going to want to basically make this a grid city, but you have got waterfronts there, and maybe the option of putting in some sort of shipping would have been just the little thing that the game might have, done something with, maybe. Water flow, I'm going to take you down the long route here. That's the furthest point that we can go from the start square, following the water down into the lake, and then the lake then feeds into the water system. Now, this does nip into the start square around about there, where you can see this water flow, and at the top end, I think it might even, no, not there, but at the top end here, there's a point over here that does as well. So 2 points that enter the start square. So basically 1 for drawing, 1 for pumping, and everybody should be quite happy. And then it just goes off the edge of the map over there. Okay, let's skip down to camera mode. Right, where were we? Let's set the camera. The editing in today's show is dreadful, isn't it? There you go. That's the map as a whole. Looks quite aesthetically pleasing with the hills and the valleys. Like this valley here. I really do like this water spawn point up here. This source feels believable. The water with the trapped. It's kind of long lake, and it just feels right. Then it's a nice mountain stream stroke river up here. I do feel it loses its framing a little bit when it gets down the bottom, where you've got all the trees around it. It's like, say, that little waterfall type things going on there, rapids and stuff. When we get down here, it just doesn't feel very well framed. We've got trees that look like they want to be drowning, but not. It just, yeah, it kind of loses its magic. That said, if you're playing the OneTile challenge, you won't even see that. So I'll leave you to decide whether that actually matters. But if you do want to buy extra tiles, you could expand out this way, where we've got another lake, we've got extra rivers and whatever, and there is actually a little bit of detailing up there we could have a look at, but it's very similar to the detailing just over here off of the start square, so we'll look at this little spot instead. Very similar. We have got a few floating props. The floating Cessna, bobbing away in the water there, a couple of those. Then we've got a couple of boats there floating away, and we've got a little jetty as well, custom jetty there, and it just feels very nice. Does it add anything to the map? No, but you know what? It's good to see. It's just good to see. What I like a little bit more than that actually is just off away from MrMaison's azalea bushes. You saw that line of trees there? And you'll see signs by it. Now this is the edge of the OneTile, and you've got a park just off of the edge there. Now, okay, it's just aesthetic. It's a nice little pleasing thing going on there. But of course, if you have a big old grid city, which is basically what you're enticed to do, it's probably a nice thing to actually have a little park area there. It makes sense actually, and I do like it. So credit for that one. Yeah. I think it would be Grid City, wouldn't it? That's pretty much the only way you'd be playing this map. Unless you buy into these extra tiles over here where you've got a nice little valley. You could expand out. But that's not what the intention of the map is. So we'll concentrate on the intention, shall we? Anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. These are too pretty not to use. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? It might sneak in. I think, because it's just a little bit different and it has got the backdrop, I think it might just slip in. Aesthetically, I think it works. And yeah, the start square is just boringly bland and not much going on with it. That's the intention, of course. But I feel, overall, it kind of just almost... Do you know what? I'm going to go for a low 4 stars. I'm going to go low 4 stars because I feel I'm going to be stingy later on. So low 4 for that one. Detailing. It's middly. Nothing shines. There's a few minor grumbles. There's nothing dreadfully bad. I can go 3 stars. 3 stars for detail. It's passable. Gameplay potential. This is where I'm probably going a bit too tight on it. I think it's a once through a gameplay playing on the grid system, although you could buy the extra tiles around. I don't feel enticed to really want to do that because it doesn't really naturally expand from the centre square. So I'm going to go 3 stars for gameplay. Yeah, if there was a kind of like a natural bleed out of the centre tile, then I might have gone for a 4th there. But and of course, if we had proper resources, that maybe. If we had shipping, that maybe. All these little things are little things that could have taken me to 4 stars for gameplay. But if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Don't miss my new series, Mod Bites for Civilization 6. It might entice you to actually want to play the game as well. It's a very, very good game, Civilization 6. Highly recommended. And that's it for today. I'll catch you tomorrow for another map in the What Map series. Thanks for watching. See you very, very soon.